I don't work here, lady. My taxes pay your salary. No, they do not. This happened 3 years ago, but my friend reminded me of it yesterday. So I thought I'd share. It was the middle of June, and my first weekend off in quite a long time. I'd been giving my friend a never-ending rain check of promising to teach her to fish. Our schedules finally line up. Weather's perfect. It's fishing time. We arrive at a local lake. It's the type where you don't need a fishing license, just a pass for the lake. Money goes to the city. We buy our passes from the concession stand and head back to my car to get the gear. I brought 3 setups. One for me, one for friend, one just in case. It's a really busy Saturday morning. Lots of people. We do a mini hike across the lake to get to our spot and get to fishing. Friend learns quickly. We catch a few before the sun's all the way up. We're pumped how well the day is going and decide to take a lunch break when it starts to get hot. At about 11 we take the stuff back to my car. We chill, eat, hydrate, and head back. While we're walking back, a group of kids break away from their families to follow us around. They were all boys. 4 of them. 3 of them were probably around 8, 11 years old, and the 4th is maybe 6. I'm thinking they just want to watch us fish, and they likely told their parents where they were going, so I don't even think about it. We get back to our spot, but the kids are trying to follow us down the hill. The top of the hill has a trail. If you're careful, you can climb down to reach a small landing that's close to the water's edge. It was stressing me out watch these kids try and climb down, so I yell up to them a safer place for them to watch. Basically next to us. Easier to get to. But there's a gap in between the landings. Once they got down, they decided to have a rock skipping contest. Not exactly polite to do that next to people fishing, but I let it go. Then these kids decide to have a jumping contest. They're jumping from their landing to our landing back and forth. There's only a 2-foot gap, but if they fell, they'd definitely get hurt. Friend is getting more stressed than me watching him. Makes them promise her to be careful. They said what I probably would have said when I was their age, fine, whatever guys. The ringleader of the group, oldest, maybe 11, then asks me if they're allowed to fish. I asked him if they have a pass. Stupid me. They say yes in unison. I tell them, if you got a pass, you're good to go. Ringleader puts his hands on my fishing pole that I'm holding still, and asks if he can use it. I pull away. Say, no bud. I'm using it. He picks up my just-in-case pole without asking, and says, what about this one? No. That's mine. And I don't want you hurting yourself with it. Little brat gives me an attitude and shouts, well, what bleep can bleep I use? I didn't even know what to say at first, but I pulled out Old Faithful. Go ask your parents. It worked. They immediately left. About 20 minutes later we hear a large group of people coming down the trail. It's the kids and their family. And the kids are whispering and pointing at me. Mostly just ringleader, a female a bit older than me. Guessing mom. Angry makes her way over to the spot and lays into me. I don't remember everything, but the general consensus is that I'm ungrateful and I need to get shot. Her words. Kids are still close, so I decide to keep it PG. I also have a little issue with my hearing. If something is too loud I can't usually make out the sound, like if you're yelling at me. I'm not gonna get every word. I explain I can't hear her when she raises her voice. She starts yelling louder. I'm getting nothing. Friend is mortified. I stare at her until there's a break and say, yeah. I didn't get a word of that. She almost starts to go off again when the husband, boyfriend, older brother shouts something at her in another language and she stops. Angry lady. Did you tell these boys they couldn't fish? Me. No. I said just the opposite. She's stunned. Al. Why can't they fish then? They're allowed to fish at this lake. Quote. Me. They bleep can bleep fish. They're absolutely allowed to fish here. They just can't use my stuff. Al. Why not? Everyone else here is fishing. This lake is owned by the city. Quote. Me. Yup. Sure is. Blank stares for way too long. Al. You need to teach them to fish. Quote. Me. Miss. I can't watch all of them. What if they hurt themselves? Al. Yes you are. My taxes pay your salary. Me. No. They do not. Al. Yes they do. I pay taxes and taxes pay for this lake. And they better not hurt themselves because if they do. Quote. Me. You think I work here? More blank stares. Me. Miss. I work at place I used to work. Doing thing I did while I was there. Even more blank stares. Me. I fix computers. I didn't, but it's easier to say that than explain what I really did. Bleep silence. This poor lady looks so embarrassed as it clicks that I'm just a person fishing on their day off. But I don't even get an apology. No recognition that she was wrong. She just climbs back over to the rest of the family as they quietly speak amongst themselves, walking away in their shame. When they're finally out of sight, friend and I give each other the "what a bleep just happened" look, and break into the most beautiful 45-minute session of uncontrollable laughter I've ever had. TL. Doctor. Went fishing. 4 kids wanted to help themselves to my fishing gear. Told him to kick rocks. They sicked their mom on me. Mom was under the impression that 2 regular people fishing were park rangers, and we needed to teach these kids to fish. I was wearing blue jeans, tank top, zip-up hoodie with a skull on the front, snapback with the NVIDIA logo on it. Friend was wearing jeans and a white long-sleeve shirt with a Dodgers hat. Park rangers wear ugly green pants and khaki shirts with the name of the bleep lake on them. A Karen tries to get the owner's daughter fired. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm putting this on the right one, but I hope I have. So background, this was about 2 years when my dad owned a pub. I was 14 and old enough to chip in by taking orders for the restaurant, cleaning tables etc. And one day we had just opened and my dad had gone down to the basement to change one of the kegs. As I was sitting at the bar talking to our new employee, showing them what to say, my dad had taught me himself and the employee was barely out of college. The employee asked if it was okay if she quickly went to the bathroom since there weren't any customers. It was only 4 p.m. and the locals normally started pouring in at 6. So I said it was okay. As I'm drinking my cola, Karen arrives. Karen. Excuse me. Me. Hello. Karen. I want her, lists her drink. And be quick with it. Quote. Me. I'm sorry, I'm not working. She cut me off. Karen. Stop lying. I've seen you clean the tables, I know you work here. Me. Shocked. I'm sorry Miss Karen, but I'm not working today, and even if I was I couldn't get you a drink, since I'm not allowed behind the bar. Karen. Stop lying. You're here so you must be working. Get me my drink. Quote me. Miss Karen She cuts me off again. Karen. You're so rude. I know the owner, you know. I could get you fired. Quote. At the point our new employee returns, I'll call them NE for nice employee. NE. Hello. Welcome to XXIN. What can I get for you? Karen. Get me the owner, I want this girl fired. Quote. I gave the NE a look that basically said get him, my dad. I was holding in tears at this point and NE could see that. NE. I'll just grab him from downstairs. One moment. Quote. Karen. Good. Quote. Turns out my dad had been upstairs the entire time Karen had been here and heard it all. Dad. What's the meaning of this? He firmly asked Karen. Karen. Mr. R. My dad's last name. This employee of yours needs to be. My dad cut her off. Dad. Firmly, she's not my employee. Quote. Karen. What? But I've seen her clean up and take orders and... Dad cut her off again. Dad. That's because she's my daughter. Quote. Karen turns to look at me, who is still trying to calm down, and speaks. Karen. If you really are his daughter, then why couldn't you get me my drink? Quote. NE. Me and my dad were shocked and in disbelief by this, but I managed to speak. Me. Almost in tears. I'm fudging 14. It's illegal. Quote. Karen went pale and before she could speak my dad did. Dad. Now get out of my pub. You're banned for the rest of the month. Quote. We haven't seen her since, mainly because about 10 months later my dad sold the pub. TLDR. Karen tries to get the owner of a pub to fire his daughter from her non-existent job. Edit. The reason why I cried was because I have high-functioning autism and I'm not good with conflict.